Hello again, everyone. We are Gaming by Gaslight, and welcome back to what is going to be the finale to our Timberborn playthrough. I started recording this video, and I kind of realized that at this point we're sort of, we've basically come to a point where the colony is self-sustaining, and I could just walk away from the computer and everything would be fine. So I kind of fast forwarded ahead a little bit, built this mega dam project thing to divert water. We've cleared out, a lot of the bad water stuff, and our colony is looking pretty good. Could be better, could be worse, but I'm happy with it at any rate. So I kind of figured at this point, we might as well just kind of time lapse this whole thing and just kind of enjoy some nice, peaceful, relaxing Beaver music. And honestly, I think this kind of looks cool going at like 1,000 times speed. I was kind of worried that it might come off like, I don't know, if it was too fast, it might be a little like weird on the eyes or whatever. But I think we're good. And I'm just kind of rambling here. Just yeah. I don't know. I've enjoyed this series, and it's not that difficult on the difficulty we played. I imagine this could have been a much more challenging run if I'd played on hard mode. But that's kind of the nice thing about these games, isn't it? Is that you get to really tweak the difficulty. If you want just like a nice, relaxing building simulator, you've got that. If you want a challenging thing with death and destruction on the line, then you've got that too. And it just kind of works out. So yeah, I don't really have too terribly much to say at this point. Just kind of watching over my own handiwork here a little bit. And the big thing with this is I figured at first it'd be, oh, let's just kind of sit back, we'll watch building or watching the Earth repopulator build, but I kind of underestimated how long it actually takes to build compared to like everything else. And also my supply chain management was not as good as I thought it was. So I think this took like 3-4 hours to record, and hopefully I've got it compressed into a nice, much more, reasonable kind of level here. And also, this it's just kind of like a nice way to, I don't know, change up, see if doing something a little bit different than just, straight up commentating as I'm playing, see what interest there is in that sort of thing, I guess. And also, it's just nice to get to play around with doing something a little different, because, variety being the spice of life and all that jazz. So, yeah, just sitting here watching our colony slowly piece together. Yeah. Honestly, I guess I could just, shut up and let this be like a, I don't know, 20-minute time lapse, like high speed video. But I don't know. I guess I have to justify my own existence here by continuing to talk. So, yeah. Looking back at this colony, what could we have maybe done a bit more efficiently? I'm thinking, for one, if I were to do this all again, I might have prioritized trying to get this like upper level to like the left of our screen here filled a little faster, because it's just such a nice big open area. And given that wood has been a constant struggle to maintain as we've really developed and industrialized, having just a bigger area to actually have like just a big forest, which, as you can see, I'm finally getting around to doing here, probably would have been smarter. But I mean, even without it, it like things have worked out pretty well, I would say. Um, Another thing you're not going to see it on camera, but afterwards I spent a little bit of time off camera finally diverting a bunch of the water at the bottom, like relative to the camera angle we have when I'm like zoomed out. Um, there's a water source down there. Yeah, like from where we're angled now, the bottom left of the screen, if we keep going down there, there's sorry, I'm losing my voice here. Let me grab a lozenge while I'm talking. Anyway, basically, there's another water source down there, and it's, fairly reasonable, and the only problem with it is that it gets mixed in with a bunch of bad water, and then, of course, as the various bombs go off, changing up the layout of the map, it gets even more toxic and requires a fair amount of work, but once you dam that off, you can end up creating a fair amount of additional clean water that ultimately I just kind of did off camera, I guess just to see if I could. And also, admittingly, I was doing a little bit of achievement farming off screen because I like a good achievement as much as the next person. Yeah. But as for like what we actually do here, I feel like, I mean, overall, I think my development of this colony was actually pretty effective. Like, at the beginning of the series, I seem to recall talking about how we should migrate up to the top of the little mountain there to the left, but I never ended up doing it, and somehow I just kept getting away with staying down there. Which, I mean, maybe the whole time I was sort of like worrying a little too much about like just how bad those various bombs were going to divert water. It did get hairy a couple of times, but ultimately we did continuously come through, and we've actually had a pretty good time here, and kind of like I guess where we're at now. Just actually looking at this, why the heck did I build the power line that way? That is kind of idiotic, and also you'll note that I sort of end up leaving this massive gap where we can't actually continue building there. But yeah, like the whole, like diverting the bad water, like the big pond up towards the top right of the screen there, and then it sort of filters through down to where our number crunchers and the earth digger thingamajig are. Like the amount of water pressure and current, like pretty much infinite power there. If only I had built up the battery capacity to let it all keep going through a dry season, we would have been pretty much perfect there. I mean, that's, yeah, as we can kind of see here, we reach a point where I realize, oh crap, we're having these like huge periods where like we just don't have any power. And yeah, so clearly one of the big things I needed to do in this run to do better would probably be to massively increase our battery capacity. And there's probably some ways I could have, like even where those handful of batteries are now, we probably could have built that up a little more efficiently to get, more use out of that space. But, even without that, it all worked out. And I guess, actually, I'm looking at it, where the water comes up on the mountain, if we look kind of top-ish, sort of middle of the screen there, like that whole lake area where the water comes up is actually quite deep. And with a bit of additional bombing, I guess we could have just built something on top of this lake area and just had a whole bunch of batteries, because the battery falling into the water doesn't really affect its ability to store power. So I guess that's, one way to potentially take advantage of that sort of thing. Which, yeah. And all right, so watching over here, I'm kind of reminded of like we probably could have finished, and by we I mean me. I could have finished a lot faster if I didn't then get distracted by this compulsion to fill out the rest of the sort of recreation activities for our beavers. But at the same time, I mean, we want our beavers to have, I guess, some nice stuff going on that they can enjoy. They've worked hard after all. And no, I didn't actually build robots, did I? We probably could have saved ourselves a lot of trouble with that. But honestly, the Ironteeth, once you get their well-being to a certain level, I mean, like, you can have a pretty big population without too much trouble. But having robots would likely have also made things easier, because then we would have had a workforce that could work 24/7. Because as far as I know, I don't think bots ever sleep or stop as long as they have power. So maybe that's something I would have done a little differently, get bots up sooner and just kind of, let them automate the tasks that could cause injuries so that we would have less of an issue with beavers constantly getting injured. Yeah, I mean, that might have been nicer for them, but didn't end up doing that. Just relied purely on, natural, organic, genetically cloned beaver power. Yeah, and then here we go, just chopping down our trees that were supposed to be for the sap. This is kind of like a thing I ran to in here as I was just very poorly attempting to speedrun this, but the logistical capabilities just weren't there. I think if I had just let it sit, it probably would have taken me like 10 hours because of supply chain issues. But, I mean, even then, like, I could have, this whole time, just walked away. In fact, I think during a couple of these scenes where, like, while I was recording, where we're, like, just sitting here like we are right now, I think I did get up and walk away from the computer. I kind of forget, because I recorded this, and I thought to myself, all right, so we're going to record, then we're going to, provide a little bit of color commentary here. But then I kind of looked at like, how much raw footage I was working with, and I just kept putting it off, getting kind of lazy. And then I had some other stuff I was working on, which, yeah, I've slowed down a little bit on recording just because I'm kind of trying to balance a couple of different things that I'm trying to do, and my time management has not been perfect, but I am consciously reminding myself I don't want to, like, just stop recording again for like a big period, because I do enjoy, I mean, honestly, I enjoy kind of maintaining this channel, and actually since coming back this time, and since I've been really trying to focus on just like playing like a whole variety of games, I've actually been like enjoying myself a lot more than I have in a while, which I think is good. I mean, my problem, if I reflect on that, is, the last couple of years I've like basically been doing only RimWorld on the channel, and I kind of got myself in this whole mindset of, it's like, I gotta, do this because, you gotta watch the numbers go up and whatnot, and, getting, just kind of like forgetting, like, why I started this channel in the first place, just kind of, well, mostly as an excuse so that I could keep justifying to myself playing video games as I get older, so that it's not just, and, kind of sharing that whole feeling of, like, when I was younger, of, like, my brother and I would play video games and, kind of, like, watch each other and stuff like that. That whole sort of social connection you kind of get from sharing a hobby that, you enjoy. And, yeah, so we've kind of got that going on here. And I'm also thinking, I kind of want to, I've been thinking about this for a while. I might try, like, live streaming again, just to see if that makes it easier for me to kind of balance like what I want to do with like the time I have available. And like there's some older games that I kind of want to play again that might be better played with a live audience. And there's some games that I'm not sure if I'll like, some games that I've just like got from like, you know, Epic Game giveaways and stuff like that that I've just never found the time to play. So maybe kind of mixing in stuff like that. Yeah, so I might do a little bit of streaming for a little bit, see if that helps, like I said, balance my time with wanting to continue managing the channel and everything. But also keep doing, you know, regular videos as well. I've been kind of thinking of doing another Kenshi run, because I remember getting a couple of comments before my last hiatus about people wanting to see that come back. We'll kind of see. I don't want to promise anything, but that's, you know, kind of just where my head is at. And here we are, the end. We have repopulated the Earth, or at least part of it, by shooting a bunch of beavers off into the 5 corners of the world. So, yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.